It's the leading vote getter and the host for this year's All-Star Game, Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark. This is Clark's first time being selected as a team captain, and she joins A'ja Wilson as the only players to be named captains their first 2 seasons in the league under this new format. Caitlin is on pace for her second season, averaging 18 points, 8 assists. No other player has done that even once.
Caitlin Clark received nearly 1.3 million All-Star votes, more than the entire top 30 players combined in 2023, breaking WNBA history and earning her the title of team captain. In her first appearance since her groin injury, she made a triumphant return on ESPN during the 2025 WNBA All-Star Draft, but in a surprising twist, Clark made a bold move live on air that changed everything and added yet another historic moment to her growing legacy.
Then out west, it's the Minnesota Lynx' Napheesa Collier making her debut in captainship. But don't get it twisted, she knows this game well. Fee has been named an All-Star 5 out of the last 6 games. She's the 2024 Defensive Player of the Year and the favorite to win MVP according to ESPN Bet Sportsbook. But how about we check in on her GM skills? We're about to find out what those look like. It's just about that time. The captains are here. Fee, Caitlin, how are we feeling heading into your first draft as captains here?
Here's something truly about what Caitlin Clark just accomplished with the All-Star votes. While she was sidelined recovering from her groin injury, fans rallied behind her like never before, backing up an astonishing 1,293,526 votes. That's not just a record. It's a total rewrite of WNBA history. To put it in perspective, in 2023, the top 30 vote-getters combined for 1,171,000 votes. Clark surpassed that number all by herself. Even more jaw-dropping, A'ja Wilson led the voting in 2023 with 95,860 votes. Impressive. Until you realize Clark received over 13 times that amount.
There are fans out there online who say it's Fever versus everybody, and when they see this voting, it's only going to fuel that notion.
The WNBA has been around since 1997, but it has never witnessed fan engagement on this scale. Caitlin Clark has completely transformed the landscape. She took a league fighting for mainstream relevance and turned it into must-watch television. Suddenly, people who had never followed women's basketball were casting votes in the All-Star race. Parents were encouraging their kids to join in. Social media lit up with non-stop Clark content throughout the voting period. It wasn't just support, it was a movement.
WNBA All-Star captains have been announced. Team Collier versus Team Clark, the top 2 vote getters when it comes to fan voting. Caitlin Clark, over 1.2 million fan votes. Napheesa Collier not too far behind with 1.1 million fan votes. Aaliyah Boston was close, less than 2,000 votes away from a Team Clark versus Team Boston All-Star Game experience. That would have been quite the entertainment, but instead, we get Team Clark versus Team Napheesa Collier.
Her return from injury wasn't just a comeback, it was a statement. Caitlin Clark didn't just step back onto the court. She returned as the most popular player in WNBA history, a true game changer. The All-Star voting results made one thing crystal clear. Clark's influence goes far beyond the box score. She's brought an entirely new generation of fans into the league, igniting a level of mainstream attention the WNBA has never seen before. This wasn't just about basketball, it was a cultural shift.
That's Caitlin Clark. That's the Caitlin Clark phenomenon right there. That is a perfect example. The year before she showed up, all the way to what? Basically 13 times the amount of votes, because she almost got 1.3 million.
Clark's massive vote total proves she's not just a breakout star, she's the face of the WNBA. Her time away due to injury only amplified her importance, as fans across the country realized just how much they missed her presence on the court. The All-Star voting became more than just a poll. It was a collective message from the public, urging her return to the spotlight. With over 1 million votes behind her, Clark walked into that ESPN studio not just as a player, but as a phenomenon. She now holds both the influence and the visibility to make bold decisions. But what comes next isn't just about her popularity, it's about how the rest of the league truly sees her. And that's where things get really interesting.
I feel good.
We're ready.
Ooh.
I'm excited to get underway.
I'm ready. I'm excited. This is going to be a whole lot of fun here. I'm curious. Fee, can you just take me inside? I think Captain GM Fee has a nice ring to it. What's your strategy here as you're looking towards this draft?
It does have a nice ring to it. I like this position a lot. I feel like I got to try to get
some of my Hootie Hoo Owl girls on here. I gotta try to get some of my Husky girls on here. So I've got an agenda coming into today.
All right, we got a little bit of an agenda.
What happens next isn't just Boldeet's historic. As the 2025 WNBA All-Star Draft kicks off, Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier appear as team captains. Seated across from each other virtually on ESPN, the stage is set for a routine draft, with everyone expecting the usual back and forth of player selections. But Clark has something else in mind. A move no one fans, analysts, or even the league saw coming. Behind the scenes, she's been preparing a plan that will not only shake up the draft, but rewrite WNBA history in real time.
What about you, Caitlin? What's your strategy here?
I'm going on vibes.
Ooh.
We're picking whatever comes to mind. We're just having fun. My team's going to be fun. That's all that matters. You get to be in front of the home crowd in Indianapolis, so that's right.
Being in front of the home crowd is an important thing and could play maybe to your advantage here. We've done enough talking. It sounds like it is time that we get this draft underway. I've always wanted to say this. With the first pick in the 2025 WNBA All-Star Draft, Team Clark selects.
I know this will be super surprising to everybody watching, but I'm going with my teammate, Aaliyah Boston, baby.
We're putting Aaliyah Boston
Welcome,
up on
baby.
the board here. Aaliyah Boston going here to Team Clark.
The draft kicks off, and Caitlin Clark makes a powerful statement with her very first pick, Aaliyah Boston. It's more than just a strategic choice. It's a display of loyalty and appreciation. By selecting her Indiana Fever teammate, Clark highlights the bond they built during her rookie season. Boston stood by her during the challenging moments, and this pick is Clark's way of honoring that support. It's a clear message to the league. For Clark, success isn't just about talent, it's about trust, chemistry, and the relationships that shape a team.
Aaliyah has been on opposite teams with Nafisa Collier in each of her first 3 All-Star appearances, and that tradition, keeping it up this year as she's joining her teammate Caitlin Clark. She's been an All-Star selection in each of her first 3 seasons in the league. She's the 9th player in league history to be an All-Star in each of their first 3 seasons. So you're getting some real talent that you know very well here, Caitlin, on your...
As the draft begins, Caitlin Clark shocks everyone by making a move no one expected. Sitting across from Nafisa Collier, she reveals a bold plan that instantly makes WNBA history. What was supposed to be a routine draft turns into a defining moment, one that proves Clark isn't just playing the game, she's changing it up.
Caitlin, we're going back to you here with the 4th pick in this draft.
All right, 4th pick. I'm going to take Asia.
Asia Wilson. I was wondering when we would see Asia of the
Stack my
Aces
team up.
going off
go.
of the board here. Asia Wilson headed to Team Clark here, 3-time All-Star captain. She did select Yuffie on her team in 2019 and has played with you 3 out of the 4 All-Star games. So it's going to be a little different again going head-to-head here with Asia Wilson, the 3rd straight season of her averaging 20 or more points and her 5th season overall. Of course, a certified baller.
But Clark can separate competition from respect. She knows Wilson's talent will help her team win regardless of their individual battles.
I don't know if this is in the rules. I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. Fee's going to take her coach. Sandy Brondello, let's get it.
Oh.
It's going to be amazing. Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules, but we just made it a rule.
Now.
So, Sandy Brondello, come on over.
Whoa!
Let's get to it. You can coach Sabrina.
Instead of simply selecting players, Caitlin Clark stuns everyone by announcing a trade. She wants to swap coaches. In a move never seen before in WNBA All-Star history, she trades Cheryl Reeve to Collier's team. The WNBA and ESPN had to grant special permission for the unprecedented decision. With that one bold move, Clark shifts the tone of the entire draft, turning it into a moment fans will never forget.
Breaking
Let me know.
news here. I don't know that I've heard of a coach being traded in the All-Star game. This is something that you're agreeing to, Fee. There's no terms to this deal.
I agree with Cheryl. I agree with the trade. I love Cheryl. She's my coach here. And you know what? That's just going to be worse for Team Clark because now we got more chemistry on our side. We got more synergy. We know what we expect from each other. So that was a bad move on your part, Caitlin. We're taking you down.
I'd rather watch paint dry. I'd rather watch dirt just be moved around because Caitlin Clark's not on the team. If she's there, it's appointment TV. You people, whoever did this, honestly, hey, take your brain, put it in a museum, and study it for how dumb you are.
Coaches maybe is going to be the
Wow,
X factor.
okay.
The coaches are maybe going to be the
all
X
I know-
factor.
Hey, Sandy, defending champion. loves to shoot threes, lets her players get after it. I don't know. I'm feeling good with Sandy and Sabrina on my team.
By the way, I just got official word from the WNBA, from the league. I am hearing that a trade of coaches is permitted and it is granted. I wish I had a gavel here. So the coach trade has gone through. As the steward of this draft. It has been approved. And these are your teams. This is going to be a whole lot of fun.
There's going to come a time when the CBA negotiations are going on. The owners are sitting across from the Players Association. The negotiators are in the room. They're trying to iron out things. And the owners all come together and they ask a question. They pose a question to the players. And the question's simple. Where's Caitlin Clark? Why isn't she here? And why isn't she sticking up for you ladies and advocating on your behalf? And when the Players Association, when the people in that room hear that question, they're going to be looking at each other, confused, lost, and without an answer that doesn't make them look incredibly foolish. Everybody is talking about are the player rankings when it comes to the All-Star ballot. They put Caitlin Clark number 9 as far as the guards go for the WNBA. Not number 2 behind, I don't know who would possibly be ahead of her. Not number 3, not 4, not 5. Shout out to LeBron James. Not 1, not 2, not 3. They put her all the way at number 9. Caitlin Clark has to be getting a light bulb. Oh, they just don't like me, right? Once we get to the Natasha Cloud and Brittany Sykes, a light bulb has to go off. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, they just don't like me. I'm done publicly coming to your girl's defense. I'm done publicly using my cachet, using my fans, my fan base to come support you guys. We're done with that.
The WNBA All-Star Draft was fun between Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier, the team captains, picking the players, picking the rosters. But the most interesting aspect was the coach swap, because Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team, or was to be the coach of her team, to Collier for Sandy Brondello, the coach of the New York Liberty. Of course, Reeve is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, so that makes sense. But the drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media about the amount of attention Clark received relative to the rest of the league, not to mention being the coach of Team USA that Caitlin Clark was so famously snubbed from. Of course, Reeve wasn't a part of the official committee, but, some may believe she had some say in how all that went down. Regardless, the picking between the players was a lot of fun, and Caitlin Clark also wound up with all of the Fever members on her squad as well, meaning Aaliyah Boston, Clark, and Kelsey Mitchell will be a trio in Indianapolis for All-Star.